Hola a todos, buen día y hoy comenzaremos con un nuevo trabalenguas en español. Este trabalenguas parece muy largo, pero realmente es más fácil que el trabalenguas anterior. Hi everybody, we will begin with a new tongue twister, and this tongue twister is actually, it looks quite long, but it is also easier than the previous tongue twister that we have learned. Okay, so there is no R sound here, right? R and R. So in that sense it will be easier, right? And no many consonants together, right? Tampoco tendremos aquí varias consonantes juntas, sino que más bien es alternado consonantes y vocales de una forma más fácil de pronunciar. Pero claro, es un poco más largo este trabalenguas. Y comenzaremos aprendiendo las nuevas palabras de este trabalenguas. Veremos el vocabulario primero y luego leeremos. So first let's begin with the vocabulary or the new words of this tongue twister before we begin to read. The first word is compadre. La primera palabra es compadre. Compadre in mainly Latin American countries, but I guess perhaps Spain as well. Compadre is used as buddy, right? Buddy. However, compadre has mainly another meaning. Compadre is how you would call the godfather of your son. The godfather of somebody's son, that would be his compadre. And they would both be compadres to each other, right? So they would address each other as compadre. So I would address compadre as compadre the godfather of my son or of my daughter, and also the father of my godson or goddaughter, okay? And comadre, instead of compadre, comadre would be for the woman, right? The feminine would be the person that would be the godmother of a son or a daughter. We would address each other as, I would address her as comadre, and she would address me as compadre because I'm a man, of course, okay? But mainly in upcountry, right? In the fields and the ranches, right? Not in the cities. In the fields and upcountry, compadre became very popular as to say buddy, right? That you would address somebody as buddy or dude. Compadre, mainly between people, between adults, okay? But never in the city. It really sounds very, very awkward if you address somebody as compadre in the city. So now that you know, compadre means buddy, but not necessarily buddy. Mainly, usually when there is this kind of a baptismal relationship. Let's continue with the next word, cómpreme. Cómpreme es el imperativo del verbo comprar. Imperativo para tú, no, para usted, okay? Cómpreme usted. Cómpreme is the imperative form for the formal you, usted, right? So cómpreme would be buy me, right? But using the formal you. If I were using the informal you, the tú, I would say cómprame with a. But the formal you, usted, is cómpreme. Remember that Spanish, when you want to address somebody formally, you address him as usted and not as tú. And in upcountry, or in the fields, or outside of the big cities, it's more common to address people as usted, formally, okay? Although people are kinder and more friendly, they are more respectful in their way of addressing others. So in the fields or inland where people address each other as compadre or comadre, they usually address them each other using usted instead of tú, right? Cómpreme un coco. Buy me a coconut. So coco is coconut, okay? Compadre, this would be the reply of the dialogue. Compadre. Dude, coconut, no, buy. Or coconut, I don't buy. No compro is I don't buy. In English, we need the auxiliary verb to do to form the negative. In Spanish, we do not need an auxiliary verb. So we just add the verb in present tense, as here, and before the verb, we just add the word no. And there we have the negation. No compro, I don't buy. Porque, because, el que, the one who, or the one that, okay? This would literally mean the one that little coconut eats. Remember, poco, without the S, is uncountable. That's why I translate it as little, okay? Not few, it's little. Poco coco compra, little coconut buys, okay? And, y means and, como means there is a present tense conjugation for I of the verb comer. But here, the word como, it has a different meaning, because como also means since or as, right? Como. So this is a very important word that you may want to remember. Como means since or as. For example, como no tengo hambre, no voy a comer. Since I'm not hungry, I won't eat, right? Or for example, another case. Como estoy cansado, iré a dormir. Since I'm tired, I will go to sleep. Okay? So, como means since or as. Como yo, poco coco como, since I little coconut eat, right? Here, como means to eat. Here, como means since or as. Poco coco compro, little coconut I buy. Remember that in Spanish we don't need to add or include the subject pronoun, okay? So the word I is omitted here because we do not need it in Spanish. Ok, ahora vamos a otra vez leer la traducción, pero en lugar de leerlo palabra por palabra, lo leeremos todo junto. Now let's read again the translation, but instead of reading it word by word, let's read all together. Buddy, or compadre, buy me a coconut. Buddy, coconut I don't buy because he who little coconut eats, little coconut buys. And since I little coconut eat, little coconut I buy. ¿Ok? Así que este es el significado, el sentido de este trabalenguas. Ahora vamos a leerlo en español, despacio, y luego lo leeremos más rápido. So this is the meaning of this or translation of this Spanish tongue twister. Now let's begin reading slowly, and later let's read it faster. Bien, ya conocemos todas las palabras. Leamos primero. Compadre, cómpreme un coco. Compadre, coco no compro, porque el que poco coco come, poco coco compra. Y como yo poco coco como, poco coco compro. Okay? So the challenge here may be to differentiate mentally and in speaking these words that can sound so similar, like poco, coco, como, come. Okay? So let's try again, this time reading row by row. Probemos una vez más, leyendo esta vez línea por línea. Row by row, línea por línea. Okay? Línea means line, and línea also means row. Another word for row or línea is renglón. Renglón. Okay? Compadre, cómpreme un coco. Compadre, coco no compro, porque el que poco coco